Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. You know it's going to be a wild day when I start my entire day on mute. It's got to be. It's got to be. But we got you guys piling in. Good morning, Chuck. We got Agnes in the house. Al, good morning. Alex is here. We got Attorney Dan up bright and early. Bill's rocking with us. Good morning, Brian, Carrie, David, Eric, Fayaz, Franco, my boy Greg Gilbert. Jay Linder's in the house. Good morning, Jeff, John, JT, Marcus, Marissa's piling in. We got Michael, Mike, Rick, Ron, Tanya, Tony, Win. All my peeps in YouTube land. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got Daniel out in the YouTube, the sea of YouTube. We got Richard Jet. Good morning. Woo. And we've got unemployment numbers starting to work the way of the Fed. All right. Chuck says working too hard. Define work. I don't know what that actually feels like. But yeah, so initial 1 minute candle on the SPY went pretty wide, both ranges. For sure. And then we got, I believe, so all the numbers as far as the Fed that came in for unemployment, for what the Fed was looking for, or at least to start to look for, that is positive. We are bad for the people, obviously, getting laid off. Let's have a moment of silence. Good for everybody else. The Fed, that should help with inflation a little bit. I believe we have SIVB halted at this point at 39.40. This is the one that we have to watch for. If this thing is still halted, I'm not sure if it is. What I do expect, I mean, we're already down. I mean, you could have shorted this thing anywhere yesterday. Held it overnight, apparently. I'm expecting some kind of takeover tomorrow, or over the weekend at some point to be announced, somebody stepping in. But this thing did get halted this morning. So there might be some things happening behind the scenes. If this thing does not get taken over, and my guess, I'm looking at who's got enough liquidity, besides maybe some private group of private activist investors, something like that wants to take something over. Otherwise, I think the lead candidate would be Goldman out of everybody. I think they're positioned enough to take this over. If that happens, okay. I don't think there's any real issues. I don't think the run on the bank continues much longer. I think that kind of settles everything down. If there is no takeover over the weekend on either today, which could be a little could be happening quicker than I potentially thought, because there could be maybe some kind of things happening behind the scenes now, which I'm sure there is already some wheels in motion. If it doesn't get taken over by Monday, I think a lot of this continues to bleed into the rest of the market. And now this is the next thing we kind of have to watch for. But I would assume very, very high percent chance that this thing does get taken over again. If I had to put money on it, I'm going to go Goldman takes it over. And that puts a good stop to a lot of the bleeding that happens from this one. Otherwise, this is a little bit of a black swan. It is localized bank. So anything Silicon Valley, that will be probably affected by it. But I even have some friends who have companies that are invested in this bank. I was talking to them yesterday, and they're like, "Nah, yeah, we pulled out money too. We do not. The last thing we need right now is our funds to be kind of locked up for an undetermined amount of time." So they pulled everything from the bank yesterday as well, part of the run, but so is everybody else, right? So just we could see, it's just one to watch for today. I don't know about trading it. It's going to get wild, and there could be some additional holds storing the market for it. So that would be a little tough. But if we get any news today that there was a takeover that is happening currently as we speak, the market could reverse hard in a very bullish direction. following the unemployment numbers. I think that the unemployment number is very good. We got a little bit of a pop on it, but now we still have this little bit of a worry from this bank. If this thing comes out today, it gets taken over. Any headlines pop up with that, every position I think in the market just kind of flips bullish, because now we're on the back of good unemployment, plus this thing kind of gets swept under the rug a little bit. So just a note on that one. Just keep an eye on this one for headlines. Let me know if you guys see anything while I'm on the mic that will change some of the potential directions. But the NFP was higher too. NFP, it's not a ticker. I'm not sure the exact NFP you're going with there, Agnes. Oh, non-farm payrolls. Got you. I thought you were talking the bank world. And then I thought NFT for a second. I was like, did you mean NFT? Yep, non-farm payrolls were higher. The unemployment is going to be the key number that we were looking for. So a little bit of a back and forth. Let's put up the SPY, see how it's reacting now. There was also some other numbers. The key one today was unemployment. They need the economy as a whole. We've got the SPY right now. Let's take a look real quick at look at this. Oh, this is when I was doing that 101. I was gonna say that was a good trade. That's not a trade I took though. On the SPY itself, so right now we have a gap up from yesterday's lows. We do have our support from yesterday. That's going to be 391.69. That's got to hold. Otherwise, to the higher side, we have to break, I'd say probably about 392.86. And that gives us almost a wide open field to play for a little bit. Right there, not a lot of liquidity, nothing really holding it down from that point. And that would give us to probably about 394, 395. That would take us back to the 395 range. If at some point today, 392, I'm going to call it 392.84, but somewhere above there, you got good volume in the close. You got another good volume high wave candle. So the market was a little undecided. Do we continue down further or not? And as long as we stay above this VPOC, we stay above this candle, we should be in decent shape. But a good initial bounce off the market. And again, it just comes down to if that bag gets taken over today, I think the entire market flips bullish. But it's just taking we're dodging one more bullet with that one. Qs, same thing. So Qs, we have level of support at 292.74. We are in that kind of field now, so we could even get some kind of a pullback. If we do, be looking for about 293.35. We got to see what happens there. If we get some kind of, maybe use that as some kind of new support, and then resistance is going to come at probably about 295. Let's just go 295 even, but somewhere around that 295. So still a very tight range from where we're at, but at least we're not on absolute collapse mode. I gotta make my screen a little bit bigger on my side. There we go. All right, let's see. Let's go to Tesla, since Tesla's been weak and moving quite infrequently, or just to the pretty much downside for everything. We're gonna pull up the daily chart. We finally got down to the range yesterday. We were saying 173 should be a decent first bounce spot. We did hit that yesterday. We were gapping up a little bit higher. I am out of my Tesla puts. I will be looking to buy them again. I don't think this is over quite yet. I think we still have room down to probably about 160-ish area. 163.34 is where I have a kind of a higher volume area in a longer term basis. So I don't think the selling is quite done yet, but I think this is a decent spot where we get some kind of rally, probably looking for about this 180 again as some kind of pretty strong resistance at this point. We are getting very far away from all those moving averages on Tesla. So the fact that we just kind of hang out, we slightly move up, bounce around. But right now on Tesla, we do have an inside day. So it could get a little bit to the choppy side. I'm not done selling rips on Tesla yet. I still think we come down probably a little bit lower to the 163. I had some intentions of selling some puts yesterday. I didn't get there yet. I didn't get to do that quite yet. So I'm still just waiting on that to see what happens. Let me just go into some of my positions as well. Oh, okay. I thought I also got a yep. The only other real puts I have on the table is Nvidia still. With lots of time frame. I think we're gapping up on Nvidia, very, very small. I'm not going to make any moves with Nvidia as far as those puts yet, just because they do have time. And if we start getting back up to the 240.76 range, I'll just buy some more puts. I'm going to keep buying puts on Nvidia until they don't let me anymore because it just broke absolutely bullish and I lose, or it breaks my direction and then I just start in crypto terms hodling all of those puts as much as I can. But for now, not too big of a move. We do have support, which is going to be a tough one. We do have all these moving averages kind of hanging out. Support will be 233.74. Immediate resistance, which I don't think this is a huge one. This is 235.76. I'm using the VPOC from over here. And a much bigger one would be looking at about 237.97. So we have a few levels of now resistance above us. We do still have support of the moving averages. Again, if the bank comes out with news today, I think that's a very positive sign for the market. They will take that in stride pretty much all day. And I think we get a face ripper rally, believe it or not. You guys lost audio again? Yep. For some reason, I hit mute again. I think I tapped it that time. For Meta, we didn't quite hit the support. I'm not sure where I cut off, so if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But this is 179.68 would be some type of support. And then we have resistance, probably about 183.28. So it is a gap up, very, very small gap up. We are in a tight range. And we do have all of this support still kind of just holding us up. So on this one, I'm just going to be probably avoiding this one for today. I don't, or at least out of the gate, unless we see anything really impressive. But otherwise, we'd have to make, I'd want to be able to make 2 Rs into 179.63. So nothing too impressive there. Chuck says, what kind of profit do you look for on your puts? Do I shoot for 1 R? No, I shoot for key support. Yep. I try, especially the ones, a couple things would affect it, right? I'll shoot for maybe 2 Rs if I could get it. If I'm taking out shorter term puts, shorter term calls, if I'm playing options, almost like a very small swing trade. If I'm buying things with time, my intent, so I don't have anything on Meta, but if I was to buy something on Meta, the reason I would do it is because we see some kind of a double top here, right? With lower highs. If I was to get puts and was able to grab them at decent prices, so somewhere up here, that's where I would attempt to try to buy puts if this thing started to bounce again a little bit higher, right? It would be on my list to buy it. Even though it's super strong, I'm noticing that double top. If I get into a position there, I'm going to buy time. I think everything still needs that extra time to break and really start to make its move. Nvidia, I think, is no different. So if I'm getting a very good price, kind of like I'm getting on so far on Nvidia, it's either I'm wrong, right, and we start to break out new higher highs. Cool, I'll sell it, take a small loss. But if this thing starts to actually start working in my direction, all right, well, I could pretty much throw a stop on those things that break even and just hold on for as long as possible till sell a couple here and then sell a couple down here. Right. So it's more of locations, not so much the money. If that makes sense. If I was looking to get into these things as like a one day hold, I'm day trading, and then 2 hours. If I'm looking to get like a weekly or something like that, because then you're fighting theta, you don't want to be in this thing long enough. If you have a lot of time, so June contracts, July contracts, you have a lot of, you're paying the extra money for the theta, and I want to utilize that theta as much as possible. All right, let's go down the list. If you guys have anything else, any other stocks that you see gapping or moving that you want to take a look at, let me know. What is the indicator for liquidity you're using? That would just be the session volume profile and the VPOC. Market is dropping back. I think the worry is just kind of shifted over to this SVB. I don't think, let me just see the SPY real quick. Are we coming down again? Yeah, right now we are. 5 minutes. So since I'm talking, we did start pulling back a little bit heavier than we would like to see. So now we're below yesterday's VPOC. We kind of use that as a little. We just rechecked into it. This is actually not quite a reversal pattern yet because the wick is so long. But all in this range, we're gonna have some kind of. In this range, we're gonna have some kind of support. So we got VPOCs here, VPOCs here, VPOCs here. Anything below 389.40, we can get straight flush, but this pullback so far not looking great. And again, this thing, the entire thing could change if we get news on SVB. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple. Even Apple's not really holding right now. We'll have to see. Give this one some time. I don't know if this would be a great retest spot, right? So when you're using, and I will just use this as an example, I don't see something that's going absolutely crazy, but if you guys find any gaps or anything cool, let me know and we'll take a look at those. Right now, I don't see anything like standing out on my screen, but this could still be the retest, right? So this would tell us what direction we broke from VWAP. This should be support. This is where we could get out bounce. If we start making new closes under here, which they'll let you know, trust me, you'll know. We need a big candle, something with a solid close, and then I think this thing would carry back, and now that becomes resistance. So as of right now, it's just a bounce into support on Apple. This is the candle that lets us know, hey, we're going bullish. This is where the bulls, or this is where the bears, anybody who were coming in bearish at that support resistance, or at least worst case high volume area, this is where the bears are probably going to clear their positions out, and the bulls should have the opportunity to step in. If that doesn't happen, we'll see a little bit of a flush, strong close, and then we're going to see a bounce back into that zone, and that would be the next spot to just kind of push down. So it's a shaky day. There's no clear direction yet, but this is probably where I'd actually be looking to buy, take the opportunity to buy here. Coin looks nice. Coin, yeah. So here's that candle. This is the candle of the what if Apple doesn't hold. This is what it would look like. So a little bounce. Okay, this is what should have happened. This is what is happening. Big candle. They're already letting you know, kind of bearish, not any real type of wick. As this thing comes down, I would expect probably a fade. So we could almost even set this day trade up pre-market. Again, it's down a lot, but the whole thing with Silvergate too is a whole nother issue, which I haven't really gotten into, but that affects the crypto space a little bit. This would be bearish. And stop would be, let's see. Stop would be somewhere around here. And then we got to look for targets, which would be, let's see where targets would be on this one. I don't know if I'm setting this one up officially. I got to look at the day chart first, but it would be one I'd be interested. 57.51. And we still have, I think, some time. Yeah, we still have 8 minutes. 58.97. To our target puts us at 54.59. This is target. Okie doke. And again, maybe this thing just comes out, flushes, and right to target. But that's what I would be looking at for it. Now let's check the daily chart, see if this trade would make any sense or if we have any other key resistance in the way. We kind of do, right? So we have a few areas over here of resistance in the way for this one. Somewhere around here, you would expect a bounce. That already happens. So I think this one's weaker. This would be my next biggest target. So probably what happens if we were to get filled on this trade, we're going to take some kind of a bounce here, right? Which could still happen pre-market. We get a bounce here, there. Now, since we've already touched this one, it becomes weaker, and that could get us to our target. So it's possible. It's possible. And then we do have yesterday's VPOC up here, so that's going to be another spot. So I'm not going to take this one pre-market. There is certain levels, but as we get closer to the open, it will be one to look. I'll leave that trade up on the chart, and we'll see if that makes sense as we get closer to open. We'll throw this one top of the list for now. It is a retest gap as well, right? Oracle. Oracle looks like a much cleaner gap. This one probably, I would love to see this one come down a little bit more, and then we look for a fade on it, believe it or not. So this one is a retest gap. That is a wide gap for Oracle. $4 on Oracle is, people wait months to gain $4 on Oracle. They grow beards. They sign up for Social Security, and they get into the trade when they're 21 years old. It's crazy. And just to make $4. So this is a big move. We do have a little bit of support, 82.31, and probably if I could get like 81.66 would be interesting. 81.66. So I'm just going to mark this out. That's where I would like to. We're not even going to set up the rest of the trade, but just to have some kind of idea on this one. If this one comes down, I think this one would be a good candidate to actually fade bullish. In YouTube land, Doc me. All right. Again, a little bit of support in this range. So this one's going to get a little heavier on the support. This is a nice deep gap as well. So this is massive. This would probably be a fade candidate. So I'm going to put this on the list. And we're going to put this in the number 2. And I'm actually looking to go bullish on this one. So on this one, particularly, I'd be looking for some type of a... Surprised DocU's not on this list already. I'd be looking for some kind of red candle at open, something we could take a break bullish of, but that does look interesting. It's just a wide gap. And we'll see what happens there. Let me get this all the way to the top of the list. What do we got? 3 more minutes left. So Oracle and DocU contenders for the fade today. Looking bullish. And the question is, how quick do we have to be? The other thing we could do on Docu as well, we might not have to wait for both Docu and Oracle. Let's go a little deeper into the, see if we got any pre-market support levels on this thing. We do. I mean, this could be a double bottom. We'd have to get above this range. So off the bat, and again, I'm not gonna, I'll wait before we actually make anything official on this because there's nothing like too crazy. But even if we did something like this, so we'd have some kind of bullish entry. Stop would be somewhere down here potentially, and then we would have more than enough room. So it's about $2. We need about 4 from here, so somewhere right into the 60. Yeah, that kind of looks good. All right, we'll have this one on the list too as a potential to take out of the gate. And then if we start breaking down, I'm going to be looking at lower supports on that one to try to fade that higher. Or again, red candle at open usually comes with higher volume, and that would be a fade. So Meta's, speaking about fading, Meta's just fading everything. Nvidia, did this one come down further as well? Yeah, at into a little bit of support. Again, this, if you're going bullish, this could be a decent one, but because then at least you're getting above that VPOC if you take the break of this current hammer on a 5-minute forming. But you don't really love to see a good bullish trade breaking every VPOC possible so far. So we're gonna have to give everything just a minute. Let's get this market to just settle down, find a direction. Keep in mind the market is open all day, and I know we want to get the trades in today because the market's closed tomorrow and Sunday. So it's like we just got to twiddle our thumbs and start interacting with people and just trying to have lives, but it's okay. Before you know it, before you blink, we'll be back on Monday. There'll be plenty of time. So not all the trades have to be made today. Does not have to be made at the open. Just wait for the right trade. It's better to take the right trade than any trade. So we'll see. Let's let this market do its thing. We're kind of off of a mixed bag of news, and obviously SVB is kind of what I want to watch if there's headlines that come in. But prior to that, we're just going to go off of patterns, formations, and technicals at this point. But everybody in YouTube land, you guys are absolutely incredible. I know I hate this part, but I got to just rip it off like a Band-Aid. It's just easier. Makes me feel just, otherwise the long goodbye is tough. But make sure on the way out, you guys hit that little thumbs up button, hit the subscribe, like, check out reallifetrading.com if you have not already, reallifetrading.com. Can't say it enough.